Today, we're diving into one of the toughest challenges most of us face, staying strong when we're in that no-contact phase. It's like a test of resilience, an emotional marathon where every second can feel like an hour, especially when all you want is a sign from them, a hint that they finally see your worth. But here's the hard truth. This journey isn't about getting them to notice you. It's about something way bigger. It's about discovering a strength within yourself you didn't even know you had. Think about it. You've already done the hardest part. You've taken that brave, bold step of pulling back, choosing silence over chasing. That wasn't easy. You were there for them. Maybe even to the point where you lost pieces of yourself just to fit into their life. But now, you're here, facing the void, the silence, the uncertainty. And there's a part of you that wonders, did I make the right choice? That's the question so many are asking. But let's take a step back and truly look at what no contact means, and why it might just be the most powerful choice you'll ever make for yourself. When you choose no contact, you're choosing to reclaim your energy, your value, your sense of self. You're saying, I deserve better than being an afterthought. But here's where it gets tricky. After a while, the silence can play tricks on you. You start second-guessing, wondering if maybe you were too harsh, or if maybe they're missing you. But let me be clear. If you're feeling the urge to reach out, just remember, that's not a sign that they need you. It's a sign that you need to reconnect with yourself. They may have ignored your worth, treated you as an option, left you on read, and now you're tempted to let them back in. Ask yourself, are they worth your peace of mind, your time, and your energy? No contact isn't a punishment, and it's not some tactic to manipulate anyone's feelings. It's an opportunity for growth, a time for you to build your self-respect, to heal, and to redefine your own boundaries. Think about this. Every moment you resist that urge to reach out, every second you choose silence over seeking their attention, you're strengthening a part of yourself that has been ignored for far too long. This isn't about making them miss you. It's about making you realize your own worth. And trust me, the moment you start valuing yourself is the moment others start seeing it too. There's a powerful Stoic lesson in this, something that will help you anchor yourself every time you feel that ache to reconnect. The Stoics believed in living with purpose and integrity, choosing strength over attachment, clarity over illusion. They teach us to focus on what we can control and let go of the rest. And let's face it, you can't control their actions, their thoughts, or their feelings. The only thing you can control is how you respond, how you choose to value yourself. And here's the truth. Every time you choose self-respect, you're rewriting the narrative. You're telling yourself, I am worth more than half-hearted love or fleeting attention. Imagine this as the beginning of a journey where you're the priority, where every decision is rooted in your well-being, not in their perception of you. This no-contact phase, it's not a waiting game, it's a proving ground. It's where you show yourself that you don't need to chase anyone to feel whole, that you don't need someone else's approval to feel valuable. You're here to live with purpose, not for validation. Let me ask you this. What if every urge to reach out, every moment of doubt, was actually a signal for growth? What if, instead of longing for their acknowledgement, you saw this as a time to work on your own happiness, your own goals? Because that's exactly what the no-contact journey is. It's an opportunity to build yourself up so strongly that whether they notice or not becomes irrelevant. This is about becoming someone who commands respect, who radiates self-worth so deeply that others can't help but take notice. So, as we dive into this journey together, here's what I want you to keep in mind. Every time you feel the pull to reach out, every time you wonder if they miss you, I want you to stop and ask yourself, is this choice honoring my worth? Remember, this phase is about shifting the focus back onto you, reclaiming the energy you once poured into someone else and investing it where it truly belongs, in yourself. You're not here to wait. You're here to rise. Affirmations are more than just words. They're promises to yourself. When you speak a powerful affirmation, you're declaring your worth, your strength, and your resilience. It's like planting a seed of belief that grows stronger with each repetition. Every time you affirm your value, you're reminding yourself that you don't need anyone's validation to know you're enough. Let's turn this strength into action. Right now, I want you to write this in the comments. I choose my peace over their attention. Let it be a reminder to yourself and an anchor when the pull of old habits creeps in. Stand firm in that choice. This is your journey to reclaiming your worth. And one more thing. If you found strength and clarity in this message, show us some love. We pour our energy into creating content that empowers you, and every like, every subscription helps us reach others who need this too. So please, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's keep growing together. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll have not just the tools, but the strength to walk this path with clarity and resilience. We'll explore powerful Stoic strategies that will not only keep you strong, but will also remind you that your value is intrinsic. It doesn't depend on someone's recognition or affection. You deserve to feel whole, confident, and unshakable. This isn't just another phase. It's a chance to redefine your standards and see your own strength in a whole new light. Let's get into it and make every second of this journey count. Number 1. Trust the path you've chosen. Imagine this. You're standing at a crossroads, feeling the weight of every memory, every moment you shared with them. You chose silence, the path of no contact, because deep down, you knew that the only way to find peace was to let go. But now, doubt creeps in, whispering questions, second-guessing your decision. This journey isn't easy. Choosing yourself often feels like the hardest choice. But remember, there's a reason you stepped onto this path. You felt your worth slipping away in that relationship, felt your boundaries being crossed. Now it's time to reclaim them, to stand firm in the choice to love and respect yourself. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." You've already made the commitment to be someone who values their peace over their longing. You chose to stop giving away your power to someone who didn't value it. Don't let a moment of doubt steal that resolve. Trust that this choice is leading you back to yourself, to a version of you who doesn't need validation from anyone else. Maybe you're wondering, what if they don't miss me? What if they move on and forget about me? These questions are natural, but remember that this path is about more than just them. This is about your peace of mind, your growth, your sense of self-worth. You don't need to chase someone who can't see your value. You need to chase the version of yourself who does. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This path you're on, it's not about suffering in silence. It's about choosing the thoughts that bring you peace, strength, and a sense of purpose. Think of this phase as a journey, one where you're rediscovering parts of yourself that you may have lost in the relationship. Those pieces you gave away hoping they'd notice, hoping they'd care, they belong to you now. By choosing silence, you're giving yourself a chance to rebuild. You're setting a standard, not just for them, but for everyone in your life. Let this be the foundation upon which you build something unbreakable: self-respect. The Stoics teach us that our greatest strength lies in our ability to choose how we respond to life's challenges. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, said Marcus Aurelius. By staying on this path, you're learning to control your mind, to find strength in your choice to walk away from anything that doesn't honor your worth. Imagine yourself a year from now, looking back on this choice. Imagine the pride you'll feel, knowing that you didn't cave, that you didn't let loneliness pull you back into a situation that didn't serve you. The truth is, this path isn't just about them seeing your worth. It's about you seeing it. This is your chance to take back control, to become the kind of person who commands respect by standing firm in their decisions. Each day you choose yourself over the temptation to reach out is a day you're investing in your future self. Let this phase teach you patience, resilience, and the power of holding steady. It may feel painful now, but with time you'll realize that trusting this path was the best decision you could have made. After all, anyone who truly values you will respect the boundaries you've set and the strength it took to choose yourself. And if they don't, they were never worth your time. So, each time doubt knocks at your door, remind yourself why you're here. Stand firm in the belief that you deserve peace over desperation, self-respect over fleeting validation. As you journey through this no-contact phase, let every moment of silence be a testament to your strength. Affirm with me now: I trust the path I've chosen, and I honor my worth. Hold this affirmation close. Let it guide you forward. You're not looking back, only ahead, to a future built on self-respect, resilience, and unshakable strength. If this message resonates with you, if it's given you strength in your journey, show us a sign of support. We pour our heart into creating content that empowers and uplifts, and every like, every subscription helps us reach others who need this guidance too. So please, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, and let's keep growing stronger together. Number 2, face the mirror, own your worth. Take a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you looked in the mirror and truly saw yourself? Not just as a passing glance or a hurried check, but as someone worthy of love, respect, and admiration. In the silence of no contact, this is where you find one of your greatest sources of strength. Right there, staring back at you, is someone who deserves to be valued without conditions, without chasing, without compromise. Now, you're not seeking their approval. You're building a foundation of worth that only you can own. Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. This wisdom from Epictetus is an invitation. It's about looking at yourself, flaws and all, and embracing the worth that is already within you. Your value doesn't depend on whether someone else sees it. It doesn't change based on their attention. It's there, unwavering, even on the days when the silence feels heavy. You have the power to see that worth, to own it, and to show yourself the respect you once gave so freely to someone else. Standing in front of the mirror might seem simple, almost insignificant, but it's where transformation begins. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." How you see yourself affects every choice you make, every boundary you set, every dream you dare to chase. When you look into that mirror, ask yourself, am I honoring the person I see? Are you treating yourself as someone who deserves to be valued? Or are you letting someone else's absence make you feel small? This is your moment, to see your reflection and realize that you are whole, worthy, and enough just as you are. Take this time to really examine your own eyes in that mirror. Behind every challenge you faced, every setback, every moment of heartache, there's resilience staring back at you. You've survived more than you ever thought you could, and here you are, standing tall. You are not someone who needs to beg for attention. You are someone who commands respect by the strength of your presence alone. As Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Every trial, every painful moment has only added to your worth, not diminished it. Own it. Let that strength become a part of you. And remember, no one can define your worth but you. You may be tempted to measure yourself through someone else's eyes, but this journey is about breaking free from that. When you own your worth, you're no longer an option or a passing thought in someone's life. You become the priority, the one who decides who deserves your time, your energy, your presence. Every day you face the mirror, you reinforce the truth that your value isn't conditional. It's inherent, it's lasting, and it's yours. So stand before that mirror with pride. Let the world's noise fade, and remember that you're here to live with strength and purpose. Every glance, every thought, every affirmation you tell yourself builds a stronger, more resilient version of you. You're not waiting for anyone to define your worth. You're claiming it with every choice you make. This is not about them realizing what they've lost. It's about you realizing what you've found within yourself. Write this affirmation down and let it guide you. I am worthy beyond measure, and I claim my value. Say it every time you feel uncertain, every time doubt tries to creep in, and make it your truth. If you're ready to own your worth, write this affirmation in the comments. Let it be your declaration, a statement of the strength that no one can take from you. Number 3, live with purpose, not validation. When you're in no contact, the silence can feel like an endless void. You start wondering, do they even notice my absence? Are they missing me? But here's a wake-up call. If you're basing your worth on someone else's validation, you're handing over the keys to your peace. Living for their attention keeps you bound to their whims and expectations. But living with purpose frees you. It roots you in something deeper, something no one can take from you. It's like planting your feet on solid ground. You're no longer swayed by what someone else does or doesn't see in you. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Think about that for a moment. When your life is centered around your purpose, you no longer need anyone's opinion to feel whole. Living with purpose means choosing yourself, your growth, and your values above all else. It's about building a life so rich with meaning that even the thought of validation feels unnecessary. Consider what happens when you shift your focus. Instead of wondering if they're thinking of you, start thinking about what you want to become, what passions light a fire within you, and what kind of life truly fulfills you. It could be something as simple as nurturing a new skill, reconnecting with old interests, or diving into a project you're passionate about. This is your chance to put yourself at the center of your own story. As Epictetus wisely said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, don't live for the opinions of others. Live for the vision you hold for yourself. Living with purpose doesn't just make you resilient, it makes you magnetic. When you're driven by goals that come from within, you stop chasing validation and start radiating self-worth. Imagine the shift in energy. Instead of feeling empty, waiting for them to notice, you feel empowered, focused, and fulfilled. People are naturally drawn to those who are centered in their own purpose and who don't waver with the tides of someone else's attention. This grounded confidence is what will make others take notice. You won't need to reach out to anyone. Your strength will speak volumes. Now, let's acknowledge something. Craving validation is a normal human impulse, but the Stoics teach us the value of detachment, not to become cold or distant, but to free ourselves from the grip of others' opinions. Living with purpose means your self-worth isn't tied to anyone else's perception of you. It's about defining yourself on your own terms, aligning with your own beliefs, values, and goals. As Seneca put it, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Every moment you spend waiting for someone's approval is a moment you're not spending on your own growth, on building a life that fulfills you. So, how do you start living with purpose, especially when the need for validation is strong? Begin by listing what truly matters to you, whether it's personal growth, health, creativity, or relationships that uplift you. Every day, commit to nurturing one of these areas, even in small ways. As you do this, you'll feel your sense of purpose growing stronger, while the craving for validation gradually weakens. Living with purpose isn't a one-time choice. It's a practice. Each day you're building something real, something that cannot be taken from you. Here's the beautiful irony. When you stop seeking validation, people often notice you even more. They're drawn to that quiet strength, that self-assurance. But by then, it doesn't matter, because you're no longer living for them. You're living for you. Remember, your life is yours to shape. Don't let it be swayed by others who may not even see your true worth. Focus on your goals, your dreams, and your vision. The journey won't always be easy, but the sense of freedom and fulfillment it brings is worth every step. Here's an affirmation to carry with you. I live with purpose, not for approval. Say it out loud, write it down, believe it with every part of you. Let this become your mantra. Embrace it fully, and you'll find yourself growing stronger, more resilient, and more at peace than ever before. You are enough, just as you are. And that is where true strength lies. Number 4, see things as they are, not as you wish. It's easy to get caught in the web of what-ifs and maybes. In the silence of no contact, your mind drifts to imaginary scenarios where they're missing you, longing to reconnect, or regretting every moment without you. But here's the truth. As tough as it is to swallow, clinging to these fantasies is only prolonging your pain. Right now, it's time to look at things as they truly are, not as you wish them to be. Don't waste another moment waiting for something that isn't real, a wise voice inside you might whisper. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus said, "Don't seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happens the way it happens, and then you will be happy." Accepting reality doesn't mean giving up hope. It means anchoring yourself in the present moment so that you can truly start moving forward. The reality right now is that they're not here, they're not reaching out, and they're not giving you the signs you're hoping to see. Facing this truth may feel painful, but it's also freeing. Once you stop clinging to the hope of what might happen, you can invest your energy in what is happening, in your own growth, your own healing, and your own happiness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The power lies within you to see the truth and use it as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Imagine standing in front of a mirror with no filters, no distortions, just the raw, unedited version of your life as it stands. There's strength in that clarity, even if it feels harsh. Every time you face reality, you're reclaiming your power, pulling yourself out of illusions, and bringing yourself back to a place of peace. The truth may hurt for a while, as the saying goes, but a lie hurts forever. By choosing to see things as they are, you're choosing honesty over comfort, strength over fantasy. In times like these, our minds often become our biggest battleground. Thoughts of what could have been circle back, luring you into a cycle of doubt and regret. But the Stoics remind us that peace is found not in fighting reality, but in accepting it. As Seneca said, "A good character is the only guarantee of everlasting, carefree happiness." By facing the present exactly as it is, you're building character and resilience. You're choosing to live in reality, to engage with life fully, rather than letting your heart wander in imaginary worlds. Yes, it's difficult, but remember that every ounce of energy spent wishing things were different is energy lost from building your future. When you face the truth, you regain control over your life. Instead of waiting for someone else's actions, you focus on your own. This choice, to live in the present rather than wait in the past, empowers you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." Let go of the dream and start creating the reality you deserve. When you stop wishing for things to be different, you free yourself from the chains of dependency. You no longer need someone else's actions or words to make you feel whole. Instead, you focus on what's real, what's here, and what you can control: your thoughts, your feelings, and your choices. You're learning to be at peace with things as they are, which, ironically, is often when life starts moving in your favor. As they say, when you let go of what's holding you back, you make space for what's meant for you. So, if you're feeling that tug to dive back into the what-ifs, take a deep breath and ground yourself in the present. Release the fantasy and honor your reality. You're stronger than you think, and clarity is the foundation for that strength. Here's your affirmation for this journey: I see things as they are, and I find strength in the truth. Say it, believe it, and let it remind you that facing the truth today is the first step to creating a better tomorrow. Number 5. Reverse attention. Focus. Right now, it feels like they're on your mind more than ever. Every quiet moment is filled with thoughts of them, what they're doing, who they're with, and if they're even thinking about you. But here's the truth. Every second you spend focused on them, you're giving away pieces of yourself that deserve to stay whole. Let's flip the switch. Instead of letting them occupy your mind, it's time to reverse that attention and turn it inward. Where attention goes, energy flows. This phrase is powerful because it reminds us that the more you dwell on them, the more power they have over your happiness and peace of mind. Imagine what would happen if you redirected all that energy to yourself, your dreams, your growth, your goals. Every time you feel that pull to think about them, remember, you're not just losing moments, you're losing opportunities to focus on what truly matters: you. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." In this moment, you may think they're the key to your happiness. But what if the real key lies within you, waiting for you to turn the focus back to yourself? Each time your mind drifts back to them, consciously bring it back to your goals, your healing, and your well-being. Yes, it takes practice, but every time you manage to do it, you're reclaiming your own power. Think of it like holding a flashlight in a dark room. For too long, you've been shining that light on them, letting them occupy your every thought. But what happens if you turn that flashlight back toward yourself? You'd start to see parts of your life that need your care, your goals waiting for action, your dreams ready to unfold. Every time you focus on them, you're keeping your own light dim. Turn that flashlight inward and watch how brightly you start to shine. This isn't about pretending they didn't matter or dismissing your feelings. It's about choosing yourself first, even if it feels hard. It's about realizing that every minute spent wondering about them is a minute you could spend building a version of yourself that is so strong, so fulfilled, that nothing they do or don't do can shake you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, your thoughts are yours to control, and that's where your real power lies. Imagine yourself a year from now, having poured your energy into things that bring you joy and growth, not into wondering what they think or feel. That version of you is resilient, centered, and whole. Each time you feel yourself slipping, remember that vision of your future self. Ask yourself, does this thought serve me? If not, let it go and refocus on a goal that will make that future vision real. Building this habit of self-focus isn't instant, but it's transformative. Start small, set goals each morning. These don't have to be huge. Maybe it's something like reading a chapter of a book, taking a walk, or even calling up a friend. Each time your mind drifts back to them, redirect it to your list. Let your focus be on what brings you closer to your goals, not on what pulls you back into old patterns. As the Stoics believed, growth lies in discipline and dedication to oneself. It's about making choices that serve you, not letting others dictate your mental world. So each time you start to dwell on them, remember, this is a chance to reclaim your focus. You are creating space for things that uplift, challenge, and fulfill you. You're choosing a path where you're the center, not a bystander in someone else's story. Here's your affirmation to keep you grounded. I focus on my growth and my goals. Write it down, say it out loud, and let it anchor you. This is your journey to self-respect, self-worth, and peace. When you focus on your own path, you reclaim your energy, your happiness, and your life. Number 6. Turn setbacks into setups for growth. Sometimes life hits us hard, especially when we're left in silence after pouring everything into someone who doesn't see our worth. It's easy to feel defeated, as though this setback has taken away pieces of who we are. But what if this moment, as painful as it is, isn't the end? What if this setback is actually a setup for something greater? A new path where you come out stronger, wiser, and more resilient. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what's blocking you right now could become the very thing that pushes you toward growth. You're not here to stay down. This is your opportunity to rise higher than ever, to let this hardship refine you rather than define you. Take a moment to imagine your life as a book, each setback a powerful chapter. This chapter, though painful, is adding depth to your story. Think of it like the dark soil that a seed needs to grow. Without that pressure, that darkness, it would never break through the ground. Similarly, this phase of no contact, of choosing silence over pleading, is shaping you into someone stronger. Every day you resist reaching out, every time you redirect your energy back to yourself, you're building roots that will make you unshakable. Remember, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body, as Seneca wisely put it. These struggles aren't here to break you, they're here to shape you. Think of every urge to reach out, every moment of self-doubt, as a signal. A reminder that growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth comes from choosing to stay steady in the storm. Just like an athlete builds strength through resistance, you're building emotional strength with every moment you stay focused on yourself. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, Seneca also said. This pain, it's temporary, but the strength you build through it is lasting. It's teaching you to rely on yourself, to see your worth independent of anyone else's recognition. Here's the truth. Setbacks don't determine your future. Your response to them does. Right now, in the middle of this challenging time, you have a choice. You can see this setback as an end, or you can see it as the beginning of a comeback. Every time you refuse to break no contact, every time you choose your own peace over chasing validation, you're turning this setback into fuel for growth. Remember, as Epictetus said, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you see yourself as someone strong and resilient, then let this phase be the training ground where you step into that strength. This isn't just about getting over someone, it's about getting closer to yourself. As you focus on personal growth, you'll start to see setbacks differently. They become stepping stones, moments that remind you of your own power. You're learning to be your own anchor, to create a life so full and rich that external validation becomes a mere bonus, not a necessity. People who understand their value don't crumble in setbacks, they grow through them, and so will you. As you keep moving forward, let each small step be a reminder of how far you've come. Each day without reaching out, each moment of choosing your own peace over their attention, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of standing tall, even in the toughest of times. You're turning every setback into a setup for becoming someone who is confident, whole, and empowered. Here's your affirmation for this journey. I am resilient. Every setback is a setup for my growth. Write it, say it, believe it. And remember, every moment of silence, every choice to stay strong, is building the foundation of the unshakable, empowered person you're becoming. You're not just surviving this, you're transforming. This journey may be tough, but so are you. Keep going, because what's on the other side is worth every step. Number 7. Focus on what you can control. Right now, it's easy to feel powerless, like every bit of peace you had went out the door with them. But here's the truth. You're stronger than you realize, and it starts by taking back your focus. You can't control their actions, their thoughts, or even if they miss you. But what you can control is powerful. It's your response, your growth, and the future you're building. Imagine the freedom of releasing all that energy you've been pouring into what they think or what they're doing. Instead, pour it back into yourself, into building a life so full and rich that no one's absence can diminish it. Marcus Aurelius, the wise Stoic, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Take those words to heart. Your strength lies not in waiting for them to come around, but in using every moment to reclaim your life. Ask yourself, what could you accomplish if you shifted all that focus toward your own dreams and goals? Maybe there's a passion you've put on the back burner, a goal you've postponed, or a skill you want to develop. Each time you catch yourself thinking about them, remind yourself that you have the power to choose what you focus on. Your happiness is in your hands now. You're not just waiting, you're building. So let every thought that drifts to them be a signal to invest that energy into something that fuels you. This isn't just about staying strong during no contact. It's about becoming so deeply anchored in your own growth that you won't be shaken by someone else's choices. Number 8. Turn your pain into power pain. It's the heavy weight in your chest, the endless replay of what was and what could have been. It's in those silent moments when you're left alone with your thoughts, wondering if things might have been different. But what if I told you that this very pain, the ache that feels like it could break you, is actually the raw material for your transformation? This isn't about just getting through it. It's about turning your pain into a source of power so potent that you emerge not just healed, but stronger than ever. Pain can be a powerful teacher if you let it. Right now, you're holding on to emotions that could weigh you down, but instead of letting pain pull you into despair, use it to build something meaningful. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In this moment, you're standing at a crossroads. You can choose to let this pain consume you, or you can decide to use it as fuel for growth, resilience, and inner strength. You get to decide what your pain means to you. Will it define you, or will it be the foundation on which you rebuild? Think about it. Some of the most resilient people in history, athletes, artists, leaders, have all faced overwhelming pain and adversity. They didn't run from it. They channeled it. Athletes use physical pain to push through barriers, to break records, to defy limits. Artists turn emotional pain into masterpieces that capture the world's heart. Entrepreneurs use failure as fuel to drive them towards success. Why? Because they know that pain has a way of uncovering strengths they never knew they had. The same is true for you. This hurt you're feeling is revealing your capacity to endure, to transform, and to rebuild. Each time you resist the urge to reach out, each moment you choose yourself over the past, you're choosing to turn your pain into a tool for growth. Imagine every pang of longing, every moment of doubt, as a spark that can ignite something within you. Rather than using that energy to look back, channel it forward. Dive into something you love, set a new goal, explore a passion that brings you joy. Let this pain be the force that drives you to become the person you've always wanted to be. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This pain you're feeling? It's not a wall stopping you. It's the very path leading you to strength. When you start to see pain as a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block, everything changes. You're no longer a victim of your circumstances. You're a warrior shaped by them. Every time you channel your pain into self-improvement, every time you use it as motivation to build yourself up rather than tear yourself down, you're turning it into power. Now, I'm not saying this will be easy. Some days, that ache will feel like a tidal wave. But transformation isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Each small action, each decision to rise above the hurt, is a step forward. Remember, the more you harness your pain, the less control it has over you. You're no longer at its mercy. You're in charge, directing it into something beautiful, something lasting. Imagine the person you're becoming through this process. Resilient, unshakable, self-assured. People are drawn to those who have turned their wounds into wisdom, their setbacks into setups. You're not just surviving this no-contact phase. You're thriving. You're setting an example of strength, showing the world, and even yourself, that you're capable of greatness. Here's an affirmation for you, one to carry forward on this path. I turn my pain into power. Write it down. Say it every time doubt creeps in. Let it be a reminder that every bit of struggle, every moment of hurt, is fuel for your growth. And if you're ready to commit to this transformation, go ahead and write this affirmation in the comments. I turn my pain into power.